Despite the fact that I'm enjoying my time playing Solo Leveling Arise, I'd be lying if I said that the game was always easy. There was never any hiccups. It was always super easy to progress. That's not exactly true, because at the end of the day, they don't want you to clear most of this stuff super quickly, particularly if you're not going to spend any money. So we're going to talk about experience today in this video, and then another video is going to come out probably tomorrow or the day after, where we talk about gold, which is another crazy roadblock. Anyways, we're going to talk about experience and what happens if you get stuck with certain things and how you can progress, not just experience with like artifacts, things like that. So hope you guys enjoy. Be sure to subscribe if you're new. About 80% of viewers are not currently subscribed, and if that's you, you know what you're doing and you know what you're not doing. Be sure to hit that button, please. All right, so like goal for today, 400. All right, so let's hop in. So the first thing you're going to do when you play the game is you're going to clear the story. Very easy, very straightforward, right? But what's going to happen is when you get somewhere around chapter 6, you're going to hit the roadblock of saying, hey, make sure you're at this level to play this stage. It's not a recommendation, it's a mandatory thing. You've got to get Sung Jinwoo to a certain level, I think it's like 21 or whatever, in order to even play the stage. No matter what you have, no matter what you do, if you don't meet that benchmark, you cannot play that stage. This is going to keep happening repeatedly throughout pretty much all of the chapters after that, where it just raises the bar. Reach level 34, reach level 40, whatever it is, it's going to keep doing it, okay? And that is designed to keep you in a position where you have to play the game more and or be patient, right? So you have multiple options, right? So when you start hitting that, the first thing I'll recommend doing is going back through the story chapters and finding the ones you haven't done. Look at Ricardo, my guy. Well, not part of the 80%. He's part of the 20 right there. The first thing I recommend doing is finding the story content you haven't done and coming here, because story is the easiest and most consistent way to get experience in this game, right? So there are some gates which we'll talk about that drop like twice as much as this. That's not crazy or unheard of, but the limitations with gates are a little bit different too. Like you can only run so many at a time, or so many in a 24-hour period, because of the keys they give you, unless you buy keys, right? Which I don't recommend. So anyway, find story chapters that you have not completed. If you hit some sort of roadblock, hit these side chapters. That's the first thing I'll mention. Around chapter 6 or so, you will also unlock the hard mode and rinse and repeat. Hard mode drops better experience from my recollection. Yeah, 3,000 right here. Yeah, clear hard mode. So my recommendation is, if you have hard mode done, you can do hard mode first and then go back to the regular story, side stories from the regular difficulty, normal difficulty that we just looked at a second ago. Clear hard mode first. So yeah, hard mode 3K experience is pretty great. So if you have any sort of problems, that's what you're going to want to do. You're going to want to hit up the content that you haven't done and then rinse and repeat. That's the gameplay loop for this game. At a point, and this is kind of already happening for me, and it will happen to you once you unlock hard mode, the loop is play normal, bounce to hard mode. Play normal, bounce to hard mode. That's the loop, right? Aside from the fact, that there is content on the sides that you haven't done, because I believe hard mode also does that little benchmark thing. I'm not seeing it for my current chapter, but I believe hard mode may also do that too. So next up, let's talk about gates. Gates are super duper important in this game. Excuse me, my voice crack. In this game, you probably also know that by now, obviously. But if you're new to the game, then hey, maybe you don't know the importance of gates. You should always have mining ongoing. If you ever finish, you want to start some new ones, you want to do that repeatedly so you can increase your level. As you increase your level, you get bonuses. You see mining time down, extra gold, additional rewards rate up as well, because the rewards that you see on the stages are not guaranteed. You have a chance to get some of that stuff. And also running the gates here, you have X number of gates you can run a day, basically, again, unless you do this, which I do not recommend. But you want to run the gates because the gates themselves have experience and gold drops, right? Also some reputation, you want all of this stuff. And then again, aside from that, you have a chance to get some awesome stuff here. You get artifacts, you get the shades thing right here, trace of shadow, excuse me, and then other stuff that you were going to need in different parts of the game. But above all else, also what happens is when you complete 10 gates a day, you get all 3 of these experience drops, and these are hefty drops. I'm not sure if yours will look different than mine due to increased reputation or anything like that, or the pack that I purchased. I'm not sure if that will change the way that this looks in this window. I do know that an extra drop happens for me. I get extra like small drops, so it is what it is, but that's what you want to do, right? So keep that in mind. Next up, you don't necessarily have to do anything I've told you so far. I recommend it. You don't necessarily have to do those things, though. If you're okay with slow progression, you can come here and just kind of log in, and then log back out and just collect this repeatedly, your progress would be incredibly slow, but you can do that and get passive experience points here. Quick note, as you level up, this all gets better. The drops are better, everything's better. So as you level up more, this gets better. So yeah. Anyway, you can claim this within a 24-hour window. And again, if you buy the pack for this, not telling you need to do that, just dropping it as a recommendation for somebody that wants to, that will help you tremendously as well. So anyway, this is here as like an idle thing. It'll drop all these for you: gold, experience, and a random item. Not sure what that is, but I guess it just depends what your tier is. I dropped some other stuff. I don't really pay much attention to it. Anyway, so this is another thing too. You don't necessarily have to log in and do all the story stuff. I recommend it, but if you're okay with taking super slow progression and you just need a game like idly on the background that you could play every now and again as like a third option game or something, then this function, you know, is ripped straight out of an AFK game and it's going to work the same way for you. So unfortunately though, you're not going to get experience from pretty much anywhere else. All these other modes don't drop experience. So unfortunately, that's kind of how it looks. So forgive me if I forget anything. If I forget anything, please let me know in the comments. But anyway, so what I have next for you guys is the opposite end of it, where you have the certain level that you need and you are just getting stuck because you can't clear the content. The first thing I want to say is it's gonna sound kind of like, you know, dickish, right? But like at a point, it is a skill issue. Okay, at a point, it is a skill issue. Learn the boss you're fighting. If you're fighting Igris and you're stuck on him, learn why you're stuck on him. What's he doing that's making your life difficult? What are the cues that you can learn from? Play it 10 times if you need to, right? At a point, that does matter. I can't just tell you that doesn't matter, because this game is a game that it's going to matter in. It's not like a, you know, like something that's like automatically on. Whatever the case is, that does matter, okay? Next up, if you're playing a stage and you're stuck on them, again, aside from learning from your experience, you can also improve your chances of being able to be successful. You can use recommended attributes, whether that's weapons or characters. I don't know that I necessarily recommend building up too many weapons and characters, because obviously gold is incredibly hard to get, right? I don't know that I recommend that. You can do that though, or maybe you have a weapon that's like an SSR or something, or a hero that's an SSR that you haven't built up. I would recommend doing those, you know? But like building up somebody like Kim Chul here, I don't really know that I would recommend that. Although I like him a lot. I like him a lot, actually, as a character. So anyway, that's something you can also do. You can learn from if the boss is breakable. Why does this matter? Because when you break the boss, you do a crap ton more damage. So you want to break the boss as much as possible. With Igris, you want to break this bad boy over and over and over and over. And so if the boss can be broken, you want to go to your Sung Jinu and you want to put break skills on your Sung Jinu. You want to do that. You want to do skills that have break tied into them, right? So this is something that's, I don't know where. Okay, so there it is. Crushing blow here. Break skill. Perfect. Give him 2 break skills. Just keep breaking the boss. Just do it over and over, right? And here's another thing. If you have a rune that can be tied into these, that is elemental, like the element you need, like a light one. Like if I had this one, I would equip this rune on this stage, on this skill, and it would do extra damage too, because it would do the light element damage. So this is like a way to double dip, right? So you want to make sure that if you have it, you are using it. Now, everyone's not going to have all this stuff. Rune system is kind of random, right? So it kind of is what it is. Next up, if you haven't already, level up your ultimate skills. Level up your QTEs. These are the most important things to level up, in my opinion, because these skills are going to shift a lot between which ones you like, which ones you have access to good runes on, like things like that. It's going to vary a lot, but these aren't going anywhere at the bottom. Level these up, right? Especially the QTEs. Those really don't go anywhere, right? Level up your skills if you're stuck with something. Next up, artifacts. Focus on artifacts. Artifacts are kind of annoying, but if you find a set that you like, put it on, right? So for this stage, since my focus has been on breaking, I would put on solid analysis, and we're going to just do so much more damage. We're going to break the hell out of this guy. We're going to have an easy time on a stage like this because he can be broken. Not all bosses can be broken, but that is something you would want to consider. Next thing you would want to consider is your support characters. Do they have break on their support skill? I always click the wrong one for the first time. Do they have break on their support skill? Baek Yoonho does have break on his support skill, right? This guy does have break on his support skill. you want to focus on the things that they're telling you to focus on. And I know that's extremely like surface level straightforward, but you'd be surprised how many people that's going over their head for. And there are going to be people I'm telling this advice to that are going to still struggle with it. And that just means that we circle back to, if you've done all the enhancements, you've leveled up your artifacts, put a good set on, level it up to a point. I wouldn't put too much investment in like in like blue or purple, you know, artifacts, but like don't ignore all these other ones. I just auto click these. But like if you have a gold set that you like, maybe you do it on that, right? But like, have you leveled up your artifacts? Have you put on characters and weapons if you have them that are advantageous? If the boss can be broken, are you doing break skills, putting in break support characters? You don't need to have break support characters that also have type advantage. You just need to break the damn boss, right? If you're doing all of those things, right? And then that means that if you're at a good enough level, you can obviously wait, come back later when you level up some more. But if you're doing all those things, then it just also boils down to you need to learn how to play versus that boss. And it's really that simple. So if you get stuck with the game, the first thing you're going to do is you are going to play the chapters in hard mode when you unlock this. If you haven't unlocked hard mode, then the first thing you're going to do is play these side chapters to get free experience. All the while, you are going to be playing gates. You're going to claim your activity funds, right? But then when you unlock hard mode, for sure, you are going to start clearing hard mode. Screw the rest of the regular chapters. When you unlock hard mode, come straight to hard mode. Do as much of it as you can, right? And so that is the gameplay loop. You're going to clear gates. You're going to claim the activity fund. You're going to play hard mode. You're going to play side chapters. That's how you level up. And then if you are at the adequate level, but you're struggling, then you need to work on your team. You need to work on your hunters, whether they're support or the main. You need to work on your weapons. I didn't bring up leveling up weapons, but you need to do that as well. If you have dupes in them, maybe you can advance them, things like that. You need to work on your artifact set. You can level up your skills. You can level up the support skill for your support hunters. You can do a lot of things. But at the end of the day, it also, again, boils down to quote-unquote skill issue, right? So one thing that's going to pop up a ton, Kevin, part of the 20, my guy. One thing that's going to pop up a ton is that inevitably, we are going to have to just deal with this thing. This thing is a problem. This thing is a major issue. And so, like I said, if you want to know more about how to alleviate your gold issues, then this video is for you. The one on the screen, not the one you just finished, baby.